new RV is purchased for $14,500. It depreciates continuously at a rate of 15%. Represents the value of the RV after 2 years ownership. So you started at $14,500. It depreciates at 15% a year. Oh, they're doing E's, looks like. So we're doing PERT, P-E to the R-T. So 14,500 E, it depreciates. So that's negative 0.15 T. So which one is it? Does it say times? I can't read that. So it's not this one because that's positive. It's not this one because it's positive. I can't read what that is. These look the same except I think that's a time sign, so it's not C, it's A. Which of the following is a true statement? So if you are dividing, you should be seeing subtraction over here. So this is not A. If you have this, you should be seeing addition with the 7 out front of the Y. So if you were doing this one, it would be natural log of X plus natural log of Y to the 7th, but the 7th would come out in front of that. That's not it. This one, you would do natural log of 8 minus X minus natural log of the square root of X plus 7. The square of X plus 7 really has a 1/2 exponent. So that would be natural log of 8 minus X minus 1/2 natural log of X plus 7. Is that what it says? Yes, it's going to be C. This one would have been log X, 8, plus log X. When you see it multiplication, you really add. And when you see subtraction, you go log 7 minus, anything in the bottom is minus log Z. And that's not what that's saying, so that's not it. All right, solve. Divide by 5. Natural log of 2x equals 5. E to the 5th equals 2x. Divide by 2. Calculator is E to the 5th. Divided by 2. 74.2. There it is. What are the zeros of the function? Well, that's a 4, it looks like. So it should be negative 2 4 times, like quadruple roots. And then this one is 3 quintuple 5 times. But they're only going to show up as negative 2 and 3 on the graph, even though it shows up 5 times and 4 times. If it shows up 4 times, it's going to just be a touch one. But if it's an odd number, so quintuple, it's going to go through it. So if I was trying to graph something like this, negative 2, and then this one's positive 3. It's got a 9. 4 plus 5 is 9, so it's odd. Like that. So it's probably going to go like this, touch it, come through. The y-intercept would be 16 times, it's really, really far down here. And then this is the point of inflection. It looks something like that. This is just going to be a touch one because it's even. So it's going to be a touch, and it's odd here, so it goes like that. But the y-intercept's way down here. That's what it looked like with end behaviors and stuff. All right. 5. Which polynomial has degrees 6 and zeros? So you should have, this one should be an x plus 6. The second one should be an x plus 1. The 0 means there's an x out front. A 1/2 means that you would go x minus 1 and put the 2 out front like that. So if it's a fraction, the numerator goes here, the denominator goes out front. And then it's going to be x minus 1, and then it's going to be x minus 3. Bring the 2 out front, and that's to be your factors. Which one is it? Looks like this last one. I think it's the last one there. What is the horizontal asymptote? Horizontal asymptote, vertical asymptotes are from the bottom. Horizontal asymptotes are the degrees. You look at your degrees. If your degrees are the same, your horizontal asymptote is y equals 4/3. It's the 4 divided by 3. 7, what is the horizontal asymptote of this? So if you look at these degrees, the highest degree here is this. The highest degree of this one is this. They're out of order, so you have to be careful. So these are the same. So your answer would be y equals, it's going to end up being positive 6/4 because 2 negatives make a positive, which that can be reduced to 3/2. So it's that. What is the exact value of sine of 300? Well, 300 is 60. It's 60 in the fourth quadrant, that is. So sine is negative, so I know it's negative. And 60 is 1/2 radical 3/2. So it should be negative radical 3/2. D. Solve this one. Divide by 2. What angles have a cosine of radical 3/2? It looks like they just want one answer. So that would be 30. You can do that right on your calculator if you wanted arc cosine of radical 3/2. That's the principal value. The terminal side of an angle in standard position intersects the unit circle at point negative AB. So it's somewhere up here. This is negative AB. The cosine would be the x. What are the amplitude? Okay, so the amplitude is 2. That's this. The period is 2 pi over 2, which is 2 pi, invert and multiply, which the pi's cancel, so the period is 4. So amplitude 2, period 4. Amplitude 2, period 4. Right there. What are the horizontal and vertical shifts for the equation? In item 11. The horizontal shift is 3 to the right, because that's this. Take the opposite of that. And the vertical shift is actually whatever this number is, 5 up. So 3 right, up 5. Oops, B. 13. Angle pi is terminating in quadrant 1. And the sine of that is opposite over hypotenuse, so that's 3/5. So you should fill this side in, 3/4. So sine of pi is given, but you're probably going to need cosine in this problem. So cosine we had to find is 4/5. Second triangle. It says it's in quadrant 2. Right there, it says quadrant 2. And it's negative 9/10, and it's tangent. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. Let me switch these negatives. This should be positive. It's negative 9/10, but the negative should be down here. And to figure out the hypotenuse here, it is 100 plus, it's going to be 181. 10 squared is 181, 181. So you're going to need the sine of this one. The sine is 9 over radical 181. And the cosine of this is negative 10 over radical 181. They want you to find the exact value of sine of a plus b. It's on your formula sheet. It's sine alpha, which is 3/5. Oops. Let me write it down. It's sine, so I'm looking right here. Sine sum right here. Sine cosine plus cosine sine. Sine cosine plus cosine sine. All right, following this pattern here, the sine of alpha is 3/5 times cosine of beta. I guess this must be beta. I mean this alpha. This is beta. Cosine of beta is negative 10 radical 181 plus cosine alpha, which is 4/5, times sine of beta, which is 9 over radical 181. So I need some room here. Let's go up here. Negative 30 over 5 radical 181 plus 36 over 5 radical 181 for a total of 6 over 5 radical 181. Then you have to rationalize by radical 181. You get 6 181 over 5 times 181. What is that? That's 5 times 181. 905. So the bottom is 905. So it's 6 radical 181 over 905. And it looks like it's right there. It's a lovely problem. Let me see. Fix those. You put these in exactly what it says?
Yeah.
I'll grade it in a second. You put these in?
Yeah.
You put that as your low and that as your high?
Fine.
Okay, I'll grade it now. Oh, that's another thing. I want you to punch these numbers again. None of these answers are right. Punch these in again. Redo it. Go to stat.
Like
The whole
these
thing. You
in
got
order?
all these numbers wrong.
Put these in order.
No, you don't have to put them in order. You just got to put them in correctly. Stat, enter. Go through these numbers to see which one. Punch them in. Be careful when you punch those in. The new courtyard at Ghirardelli Square in San Francisco will be triangular. It looks like this. Find the length of the retaining wall. This is law of cosines. So it is square root of 45 squared plus 30 squared minus 2 times 45 times 30 times cosine of 105. $60.2. It's like right there. What is the equation of the ellipse with the center at negative 1, 4? Okay, I'm going to graph this. Negative 1, 4. It's right there, center. Focus at negative 1, 7. And vertex at negative 1, 8. So that means it's going to look something like this. So we know the center is negative 1, 4. We know that A is the distance from the center to the vertex. So if the center is negative 1, 4, and the vertex is negative 1, 8, that distance is 4. That means A is 4. C is the distance from center to focus. So if you're looking at center to focus, what's the difference of 4 and 7? It should be 3. So if you found that your C squared equals your A squared minus B squared ellipse formula, C is 3 squared, which is 9. A is 4, so that's 16. That means that B squared is 7. So, since this is a vertical ellipse, that means the bigger number should be under Y. The bigger number should be under Y squared. So the bigger number is going to be A squared. So if A is 4, A squared is 16. So if A squared is 16 and B squared is 7, so this is the bigger number. So 16 should be under the Y. So let's make sure the center is negative 1, 4. Can we cancel out any of those? We can cancel out this one because if that's negative 1, that should be a positive 1. So we can cancel out this one. So there's positive 1. There's minus 4. The bigger number is 16. That's under Y. And 7 is under this one. So it has to be C. 16 was the equation of the hyperbola with a center at negative 2, 4. Center. Focus at negative 2, negative 4. And vertex at negative 2, negative 2. So it opens up like this. Did you do it? Did you change your answers?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the ones you want me to grade? Oh, I already put the answers in there. Okay. I'll grade it again. Was this your calculator? Where was I? So the center is negative 2, 4. It's opening up and down, so you're going to want this type of hyperbola. Because it's opening up and down, you need the Y to be first. So the center is negative 2, 4, so let's start there. So this should be Y minus 4 squared minus X plus 2 squared. Which one does that look like? It is not this one. So it's one of the first two. Then A is very important now. A is the distance. Did they give you the vertex? They did give you the vertex. This is here, center. And this is the vertex. What is how many units is this? It looks like 6. Looks like A might be 6. So there should be a 36 under y minus 4. So it looks like it's going to be A. Now, if I wanted to find B, you would do c squared equals a squared plus b squared. C squared, you actually know the distance from here to the focus is, let me see, from center to focus, it looks like the distance is 8. So C is 8, so that's 64. A squared was 36, so B squared is 28. And that's why there's a 28 in our answer. Magnitude and direction. 9 and 25 is square root of 34. That's the magnitude. Your direction is arctan of 5/3, which is 59 degrees. It's in the second quadrant, so it's 59 north of west. North of west. That's your direction. Resolves into vectors. 10 times cosine of 225. 10 sine of 225. So cosine of 225, that's in the third quadrant, so that's negative radical 2/2. And this is also negative radical 2/2 because they're both negative because it's in the third quadrant. 225's special order pair is negative radical 2/2, negative radical 2/2. So we're using both of those, which makes this negative 5 radical 2 and negative 5 radical 2. And there's your problems.